Louisiana Beer Review. We have a special guest today, my good dear friend Yoshi. Say hi to all the good people of YouTube.
Hello, YouTube, everyone watching.
Today we'll be reviewing Slumbrew Trippel Belgian-style ale.
We were supposed to have another person, Brittany, but her mother's birthday party was more important than a beer review.
Priorities.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Come back another time.
Sick. Anyway, putting family before this.
Yes, before alcohol. It destroys so many families.
Shouldn't have brought that up, but anyway, I was hurt. All right. 9.5% alcohol. This is very strong. 36 international bitterness units. It was introduced recently, 2013. This is a new brew. It's mostly sold up north, but for whatever reason, there's Virginia in the upper south, and Louisiana is the only deep south state it's sold in.
Okay.
It's from Massachusetts. And it uses Belgian Pilsen barley malt and caramel barley malt.
Ooh.
And the hops are Chinook and Motueka hops, or Motueka hops. I don't know how to pronounce that. And dried jasmine flowers.
Ooh, this sounds delicious.
At a canal.
Explain some to me.
Bringing a bad smell. Okay,
Yes.
Gets a very good score on Beer Advocate, but with only 61 ratings. A 75 out of 100 on Rate Beer. A 52 out of 100 for the style, but with only 21 ratings. So we're talking about 82 ratings on the two big sites. It's not well.
It says here, finding new zymological expressions is a noble dedication of the craft beer enthusiast. What does that mean? What
Yeah,
is-
zymological. That's the study of, Zims. I don't know, beer, I guess. I think that's what that means,
Well, that makes sense. I've
I
just
think.
never heard the word.
but I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I think that's what it means, a study of beer.
Oh, I see. Now you're gonna break out the nice chalices. I've been
Well, this is a
wanting
Budweiser
to
chalice.
use one.
I could have gotten the West Flatron 12 chalice. But anyway, I don't know much about. Have you ever had a Trippel? What is your normal beer that you know? The typical beer you drink at Louisiana State University and A&M College.
Okay, I like to go to Japanese restaurants. I really love Sapporo beer. It's like a light beer.
Yes, familiar with it.
I know it's originally brewed in Japan. Well, there's a brewery in Japan, but it's also brewed in Canada.
Right, because Sapporo bought a big brewery in Canada, and so they brew it there as to be fresher over here. Have you ever
There
tried
you
the
go.
Sapporo Reserve?
Not the Sapporo Reserve.
Just the regular Sapporo.
Yes.
You ought to try the Reserve. That's a different one. It's slightly different because they don't use rice.
Okay.
The regular
I'll
Sapporo
take
is
the
famous for the rice. The Sapporo Reserve only uses the barley malt without the rice. But they're both very good. Anyway, yeah, we had a bunch of rain and that canal got.
Yeah, it
whatever.
smells. Yeah.
Well, we got a drainage canal behind here and it's got a bad smell. But there's nothing we can do about it. Okay.
But yeah, I like to drink Sapporo, and then I like to drink like a Vita, like amber.
A Beta Amber. Okay.
No Keystone Light for you.
This has got some smoke coming out of it. Now this is going to be much different then. So this is a Belgian-style ale. It's a Trippel, which means it's strong alcohol and it's bright, orange looking, and it's going to be quite strong. Because Sapporo, we're only looking at
Yeah, it's very light.
5% alcohol. This is 9.5. It's probably the strongest beer you've ever had.
9.5. Okay.
Sapporo's 5.
You have to try some Chimay.
And when you do beer, the little bit of alcohol makes a big difference. 5 to 6 is a big jump with beer. It's just the way they configure it.
And what'd you say? This is 9?
Scared it's gonna fall. It's 9 and a
like
half.
9.5.
You wouldn't consider this like a dark beer. This is more like a...
It's dark-ish. I mean, it's not like a stout. I was thinking about doing a stout. And those are like black, a very dark brown. This is more like
old
what?
man beer.
This is more like orange, right?
Yes.
It's like
More
orange.
like an orange.
Like a golden orange.
Almost like some caramel dip.
Like caramel.
Now, you have really a lager. That's really not the right glass, but you're getting a relatively thick off-white head, and I'm getting no head really,
Not creamy.
and you're not getting any foam, but
No.
just a little ring. So that's going to fizz away, I think. It might leave some lacing, and that's the stuff around the side. Let's look at mine is very fizzy,
Yeah.
like root beer.
See the bubbles moving around.
Let me see this little shelf glass.
It's really cloudy.
Very cloudy.
You can't see through it.
That's fizzy. Let me see. It's very cloudy. Lots of fizz, but that's an etched bottom what makes the fizz.
Smell
Got some kids
jasmine.
coming up behind us. They're on their little
Yeah, they're coming our way.
woods adventure. They do that all the time. It's also made with jasmine flowers. They add flowers to this. Dried
flavor.
flowers. Okay. One day the kids were fighting and screaming and cursing. Let's go with the aroma.
Okay.
Well, I know what I'm picking up.
What do you smell, Yoshi?
I want to say I smell a little, but you just read the description. Is there like citrate, like?
I'm picking up like really a lot of like bread, like some kind of spiced bread. You know, like a dark bread that's spiced.
Yeah, maybe that's what you're smelling, the spiciness.
Yeah.
I see what you mean by citrusy, but
Like graham cracker almost. It's weird, and it's real sweet, like a dessert. And you do pick up some of that
Gingerbread.
flour. Yeah,
Yeah.
gingerbread. That's what I'm thinking of, like a spice. I don't know. It's hard to describe. What do y'all think?
gingerbread and
Spiced.
Get that floral underneath.
I want to say I smell a little bit of the jasmine, but
It's a lot different than Sapporo, right?
yeah,
It's a lot different than a regular beer.
it
aroma.
is. Yeah, the smell.
This is a Belgian-style, although it's
Loaf of
Much
gingerbread
stronger.
on a bed of jasmine.
This is actually contract brewed by brewery, a different brewery. This company here, they don't have their own brewery yet. I was reading on their website, but they said they're trying to get some equipment to do their own beer, so they're paying somebody else to brew it, according to their recipe. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention it. I guess we'll go with the flavor.
Let's go with that
Yeah,
flavor. It's pretty strong.
that's rich.
Wow.
It is. It's smooth.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like syrupiness.
Still getting that cracker, that breadiness.
Cracker.
Yeah, like a not so much yeah, it is a cracker, like a Ritz cracker with the butteriness, but it
good.
is like gingerbread.
I get what you mean by the buttery cracker.
It is like that spice.
Mm-hmm.
Spiced buttery cracker without the crunch.
The floralness isn't really strong.
It has bitterness,
but
though.
it's there.
There's a background bitterness for
Yeah,
sure.
no, definitely.
It's not super bitter. I mean, y'all want to taste? I can give you some bitter beers, but it's
Yeah.
got bitterness.
It's not too bitter.
It is sweet. I can tell. I can
I
taste
really
that
like it.
the caramel tones.
It's sweet.
Not too bitter. Very sweet.
It's very rich.
Rich. Very smooth.
It almost is like sucking on a butterscotch candy, like that aftertaste. Like you can taste that caramelness, that sweet.
I'm picking almost up like a citrus rind, though,
Mm-hmm.
like orange peel, but they don't
Yeah.
have that in
A
it.
little tad. An orange would probably complement it.
It's good.
Maybe
It's
like an
it's
orange
bitter
peel.
but drinkable. It's well balanced with the sweetness.
You can pick up the alcohol, definitely. It's got like a wine
Yeah.
flavor.
It reminds me of mead
There's definitely alcohol underneath.
because it's bitter, but it's like smooth and syrupy, and there's that like slightly like floral thing. We should review a mead when it gets colder.
This is Louisiana beer reviews. Well, you could
You
start.
do wine.
You could start.
What are
Yeah,
they called?
but those are called off track.
We could
well,
do,
we could do it
an
under
off
the.
track.
We could do it under the off track series.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Thanks for checking me in public.
I'll check you.
The mouthfeel is kind of thick. It's like medium to thick. It's kind of a heavy beer, I find. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking about Sapporo. That's so light.
Yeah, this is one of the more heavier beers.
But this
I've
isn't-
ever had, But it's very refreshing and it's not
Yeah.
too heavy.
This isn't Guinness extra
prickly.
stout.
Very good.
Yeah, foreign extra stout. It's prickly, and the finish is pretty dry. I think it's dry. To me, it's dry, like champagne.
Not
Not
that dry.
All right, it's semi-dry at least,
There you go.
and it's rich, and the drinkability is not real high. So like, you wouldn't want to guzzle this. I wouldn't suggest guzzling this at all. It's a sipper.
Get some pie.
Yeah.
on
You
the
know, you
side.
go to LSU and you got some of these guys and gals that on game night, you know, LSU game night, they want to guzzle stuff.
They don't
I'd
want
like-
to taste it. They just want to.
Right, I'd like to see them guzzle this. I have a feeling they run into some trouble, don't you think? They'd be like, ooh, ooh.
They would. They might run into some trouble.
Because that, what do they guzzle up there? Pabst Blue Ribbon and
Keystone,
Keystone
Light.
Light.
Whatever they can get their hands on.
Coors.
That's cheap.
Budweiser,
The Dollar Tree brand.
Not the Dollar Tree brand. And I
Made that
I
up.
defend those beers, but I don't think they would necessarily like this.
No.
Where'd you purchase
Oh,
this
yeah.
beer? Where can
Oh yeah, I'm glad you
where
brought
can
this
you
up
find that?
because I would have forgotten to mention. I bought this at Stein's Deli on Magazine Street, New Orleans, and they carry all kind of specialty beers. And I think it was about. Oh, I take that back. Never mind. I did buy a lot of stuff at Stein's, but I have to recant that. I bought this at Rouse's,
Oh.
Rouse's.
downtown New Orleans, on corner of Julia Street and Barone Street. So it's from Rouse's. Really got a fantastic.
So could I find that at Mathern's, or they don't? Their selection of
Let's
beer.
say Yoshi's
They have
having
a big
party,
selection.
and she
but
wants to
they-
offer her friends some beer that isn't your typical run-of-the-mill,
Yeah.
boring beer.
Mathern's has a big selection, but they don't necessarily. They have stuff that Rouse's doesn't have, and Rouse's has stuff Mathern's doesn't.
So
have.
those are good. What's a good place to go around LSU?
Near
that
Baton
she could.
Rouge.
Rouse's,
Yeah. Rouse's.
Martin Wine Cellar.
Ooh, they have one of those there.
Mathern's on Highland Road, Mathern's on Bluebonnet, Calandro's on Government Street, Calandro's on Perkins Road, but that's heading back toward
he's very
Such
LaPlace.
an inventory.
Very familiar with Baton Rouge.
There's a little liquor store on Perkins Road called Castro's, or is it Cubans? It's one of those places. I can't remember. It's like Castro's or Cubans or Habanas. It's one of those three names, but they have. But yeah, you could go to Mathern's or Calandro's on Government Street, and you can get all kind of stuff.
Martin's is cool too because you can get individuals and you can make your own like
Well,
six-pack.
at Calandro's
Really?
and
Mhm.
Oh, that's
at
awesome.
Calandro's and at
Those up cheese plates.
at Mathern's on Bluebonnet and probably on Highland Road, you can get singles. And if you
Okay.
get if
Yeah.
you get 12, you get 10% off. If you buy 12
This
singles.
is very nice.
So anyway, I don't love this one personally.
You don't love it, but
Um,
you would say that it is
it's
a
good.
good beer.
I've had Belgians that are way better. You know, like Chimay, Trippel.
Chimay is a lot more intense. This is kind of easier to drink for me. Chimay is not.
Okay.
I like the St. Bernardus Trippel better. But the price for this wasn't too bad. It was like $4.99, I think, or it might have even been $3.99. Sometimes they have sales. I'm gonna give it an A-. I think it is excellent, but I think it's at the lower end of excellent. That's my personal opinion.
What about on a
A-, but-
scale of 1 to 10? What would you
Oh, we do that.
I don't know how to do that scale. I hear
do?
people.
What about 1 to 5?
I do like I'm grading papers. You know, as a teacher, I do A, excellent.
scary?
This is
So
how I
A
do
is
it.
pretty
A, excellent.
good.
Well, yeah. If you're
A
at
is
if
really
you're an
good.
if you're an A-, that means you're an excellent beer. So that's not
The lower
it's
end
not
of
a,
excellent.
right, but it's not a rip.
Okay. We're not going
I do
crazy.
A, excellent, B, good, C, fair, D, poor, and F, undrinkable. So how would you do it? Excellent, good, fair, poor, or undrinkable? Obviously.
Okay, definitely not undrinkable.
I'm gonna give it the A- too. I'm gonna agree.
Excellent, but at the lower end. And what did you say?
Maybe I'll give it the A-. But from all the beers that I've had, it's up there.
It's like way
Definitely.
up there.
It's way up there.
Yeah, because it's so.
Definitely an A.
You're probably like Elizabeth. You haven't drank a whole lot of different beer brands.
Since I've started doing the reviews, though, I've tried some interesting stuff.
The smell is very. The smell as the beer is warming, the smell is really coming out. Like these kind of beers, when the more it warms, the smell gets stronger, and it's really coming alive, like more of that gingerbread. And the flavor's coming alive too. So you could argue. We're gonna wrap this up. We don't want to go all day.
Yeah, go ahead.
The worst
We
you
go
could
on.
give it would be an A-. Okay, let's be fair. The worst you could give it, and as I drink this down, I'm probably going to jump it up to an A. But I'm saying at the minimum, it's an A-. Does that sound sensible?
So
That
if we
does,
do
it does,
A-,
it does.
A, that would average out to like just an A, regular A.
2 A- and an A
Yeah.
would still be an A-.
Oh.
It's 2 to 1. I mean, but it's
Okay.
still excellent. So what can we say? The worst you could say about this beer is that it's excellent. So
It's really
we're
good.
being nitpicky. But anyway, it's fantastic. Buy it, try it. I think you're gonna love it. It's got a lot of carbonation, as you could tell. Sorry about that.
Nice.
But
Eat it with some gingerbread.
we're gonna end this review.
We're gonna wrap
Laissez les bons termes, c'est excellent beer, and we're gonna end this review by saying, y'all come on down to
Y'all come on. Down.
southeastern Louisiana.